Hey there, this is Mark Joyner, and I'm going to shoot a little impromptu video here to show you the tips, tricks, and biohacks I used to get to a point where I could do 50 push-ups with my breath held at 50 years of age today. Now, before I do that, I want to make sure that you've seen the video that launched this whole thing. If you haven't, go to Mark Joyner 50at50challenge.com and you can see the video there. And there are also some instructions on how to respond to the challenge. And if you haven't responded to the challenge yet, I strongly encourage you to do so. Even if you can only do one push-up, I don't care. What I care about is that everybody gets involved and helps spread the word, because this is all about health and fitness at any age. And I think this is really important today because a lot of people are getting older and sicker faster than they have to. It just doesn't have to be so, and I would love to turn that around. If we can get the knowledge in people's minds that A, it's possible to change, and then B, what they have to do to change, I think that that's going to make a really huge impact, especially if more and more of us get involved in this whole thing. So please get involved in the campaign. Shoot your video, post it up on all your social media. I believe that much in the importance of this, and I hope you do too, because guys, there are a lot of people out there who are hurting from illness, and that just doesn't have to be so. Let's do something about that. Let's turn this whole thing around. Let's get the world fit and healthy, and I think that's going to do the whole world a whole lot of good. I think it can even bring about world peace if we get everybody healthy and fit. That's what I believe. Now, let's talk about what I did to get to a point where I could do 50 push-ups with my breath held. Now, by the way, that's only one thing I can do. You've seen also, if you've seen that video, the other one, you see me doing single arm push-ups. You've probably seen some videos of me flipping around in gymnastic rings, doing headstands and handstands. I'm doing that at 50 years of age today. How is that possible? Well, the morning routine that I use is the first foundationally important thing that I do. And the first step on my morning routine is this thing that we do at Simpleology called the little calendar that brainwashes you. Now, I'll tell you how you can get one of these for free here in a minute, but let me tell you what this does. What it is it's just a 30-second routine, and it takes just a little bit of thought. We just ask you a few questions, and what it does is it puts your mind in a positive framework so that you're actually thinking positively about what's going to happen in your day, and it puts you in a really good, positive mood. Now, the reason that's important is that if your mood is higher, your mood is happier, your whole life is going to be higher and happier in general. You're going to be able to face the challenges of the day with a little bit more gusto, right? You're going to be able to work out a little bit harder. You're going to be able to think a little bit more clearly. You're going to be able to spread more positive vibes to the people around you, and that's always a great thing, right? Now, the flip side of that is if you wake up in the morning and you're feeling stressed out and worried, what's going to happen is your body's going to dump a whole bunch of cortisol in there, and that's going to prevent you from being able to put on muscle. It's going to prevent you from being able to burn fat, and it's also going to prevent you from being able to perform at your peak. Now, the next thing I do after I do the little calendar is I go outside. Preferably the sun is already out and shining in my eyes if I can get that. And I do what is called Wim Hof breathing. Now, Wim Hof, you guys have probably seen him. He's the Iceman. He's the guy who has got the world record for plunging himself in ice. He hiked up Mount Everest without his shirt on. He has run a marathon in the Arctic. This man is an absolute beast, and you've probably seen my endorsement for his book if you've actually checked out his book. Now, at the end of the Wim Hof breathing, he asks you to do held breath push-ups, and that was the thing that I did every single morning, and I've been doing that every morning for years now. Now, the next thing that I do after I do Wim Hof is I do this thing called breath of fire. All right, now breath of fire is a yogic tradition, and what it does is it actually stimulates your organs, right? So it gets your digestion going. It gets all of your internal organs nice and massaged so that when you go out that day, everything in your body is functioning a little bit more properly. Now, after that, what I do is I do this thing called animal flows. And these are basically just little movements, and you don't have to follow the movements that I do. Any movement's going to do. But the whole point here is that you get your body alive by moving your body around. And when you move like an animal, it kind of gets you in this primal state, which is really, really fun. And this is really interesting because a lot of people, when they wake up in the morning, they feel stiff, right? And then what they do is they go, well, I'm feeling stiff, so I don't want to move around. And so they move less. Well, moving less isn't the answer. You've got to get in and you've got to move more. So when you do animal flows in the morning, it gets your whole body loose. And when your body is loose, your mind is loose. And everything is going to feel so much better. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the little calendar that brainwashes you. You can pick one of these up for free at thelittlecalendar.com. All you got to do is pay the shipping. Now, we're going to send that out to you with a whole bunch of bonuses, but because you're coming from here, we're going to send some additional bonuses that aren't even listed on the page. For example, I am going to show you the fat loss protocol that I used. I used to be absolutely enormous. I'm about 170 pounds right now, but I'm a 170-pound wall of muscle. I used to be 240 pounds at my peak weight, and I was really, really fat. So if you think that you're too obese to change, and if you think that you're too old to change, I got news for you. Neither of those things is true. Okay, so that fat loss protocol is only one of the things that I'm going to send you. I'm going to send you a whole bunch of other stuff, a whole bunch of information that's going to get you started down the right path to getting yourself back in health, back in fitness. And if you've never been healthy, if you've never been fit, well, let's get you healthy and fit for the first time in your life. So all you got to do to get started is go to www.thelittlecalendar.com. Go pick yours up for free. Again, I'm going to send you all that extra information. And again, there's a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to send you that's not even listed on that page because you're coming from this campaign. That's how much I believe in this whole thing. That's how important I think this is. I want to change the world. I think that the world is going to be a much, much better place if we get everybody healthy and fit. And again, it doesn't matter how old you are. So if you know somebody who's suffering from disease or is getting old and is not aging gracefully, I really encourage you to get out there, post that video, spread the word, and let's change the situation for them and for everybody else.